If the utility sees you as a pet and not a snake, you avoid the fight, but you keep the light. What does this mean for you? It means that you can be a prosumer, save money and also have security of supply. But unless you do it in a smart way, you will end up in a long fight, and they are prepared for it. Watch this video and prepare for the fight, simply by avoiding it, and still have your thing. Like water, it flows around the rock and still finds the ocean. Technology will help you. Hi, I'm Norbert, I'm energy engineer. In video number 153, I explain how to use technology to keep a low profile in front of the utility grid, but still defend your interests. Here's a fundamental secret that nobody talks about. The utility grid would like to be your electricity supplier, just like in the old days, one way from them to you. But you want to be a prosumer and use the grid as a big battery for your solar electricity. They have to face modern times and embrace the gift of solar energy from us, the households. As long as you play your role as a nice pet and not a snake, this hug will feel like a friendly handshake instead of a lawsuit. Whether you are capturing excessive energy from your PV roof that would go to the grid, or building a low-cost balcony setup from scratch, the strategy is identical. It's to change how the utility grid is viewing you. I see many videos about PV being or becoming illegal, but I will tell you how to flow like water around the rocks and exploit new plug-and-play technology to remain in safe waters. You simply must remember what they hate, that we feed back power into their grids without control, being an unpredictable bidirectional hazard, sending current where they didn't ask for it. That will create corporate panic if all households are doing it. And then you are the snake. What you want to do instead is being a nice pet, and you actually may end up as the winner. And now comes it. If you use the modern smart batteries in a smart way, you will simply not be noticed by these big players. You will avoid export by automatically absorbing this excess energy into the battery and putting it back on the home grid only when that is consuming. So nothing will come onto the utility grid. Moreover, you shall use the outlets on a smart battery in a smart way. They are really far from the utility grid, and the grid operators, they are not interested in what is happening there. They make your home look like a simple passive device, even if it has a battery, and that is what they like. These outlets can even be connected with an all-pole transfer switch to your home grid, so that the battery feeds your whole domestic grid in complete independence during a blackout, while standard PV roof systems will be dead, according to regulations. So in a few words, behaving like a classic consumer in reality gives you a lot of freedom. If you like what I said until now, hit the subscribe button and keep your thumbs up. Ask questions in the comments and share this video with others who need it. Moreover, take a look in the description what this guide here can do for you. I give you the what in this video, and this guide will give you the how, and it is free of charge. Now let's do a deep dive into how this applies specifically in your situation. Whether you have already panels on your roof or are just getting started with PV. Scenario A. You already have a rooftop solar. If you already have a certified rooftop PV system with a grid-tied string inverter, your biggest threat right now is new regulation. Net metering tariffs are dropping, export fees are rising, and utilities are penalizing backfeed. And the fix: you leave your rooftop system exactly as it is, certified, compliant, and feeding your home and the related battery its own battery during the day. Now you add a smart battery system and see the description for a list of compatible components, and I really see this list as a kind of a IKEA box where all the components fit perfectly to each other, so you can start to mount without bothering which components you have to purchase. And with these smart batteries you can absorb the excess energy for later, for example in the evening. And when a blackout hits, this smart battery will already be fully charged. And while the official system with its own battery will shut off, according to the regulations, you are covered. You flip your essential circuits like fridge, router, lights and computer, or even the whole house. You switch it all to the battery's isolated output, these sockets here, and your house stays illuminated and working while the whole street goes into dark. This is not against the law, just as charging your electric vehicle and making a trip during a blackout is completely okay. So this scenario A, that is to protect your investment without recertifying your rooftop system. If you don't have yet solar, the traditional route is painful. Thousands of dollars in permits, inflated prices for the components like PV panels, the inverter, the battery, then utility approval, grid tie inspections and expensive installation crews. And here the fix is, you start with modular plug-and-play components like a balcony battery, panels and a microinverter. To the grid, an EcoFlow or similar unit plugged into your wall is legally no different than a rechargeable vacuum cleaner or an AC battery bank like this simple one here. Charge it off low voltage panels and never forces power back upstream without your control. You don't ask a utility for permission to plug in a battery-driven vacuum cleaner, and they don't care. You build your system incrementally, 2 kWh at a time, for a fraction of the cost, completely under the regulatory radar. You can also combine these two scenarios A and B, because the smart battery has its own PV input ports for part of your existing panels on the roof, or new panels that are not expensive, and you can install those in addition to your roof panels, for example on the garage or the balcony. Whether you are optimizing a 6 kW roof array or starting with a single balcony system, the golden rule remains the same. Don't provoke the grid operator. You don't need to fight a giant corporation to have energy security. You just need to be smart about how power flows through your front door. Be the pet, not the snake. Avoid the fight and keep the light. And don't forget to grab the free guide in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. I wish you good energy.